talking the Ohio State Buckeyes. He's Ian Cameron. I am Drew Martin. Ohio State, Ian, 13-1 last year. Big Ten champions, Rose Bowl champions, 28-23 win over Washington, finishing out last year. Ryan Day now taking over the head coaching position from three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer. Do you see kind of rough waters ahead with the change at the head coaching position in this Ohio State program? Or you think it will be smooth sailing for the Buckeyes this upcoming year?
Yeah, I think Ohio State, there's a really high ceiling for them. I mean, I think the Buckeyes, certainly from a quarterback standpoint, Justin Fields, the transfer from Georgia, finally getting his opportunity. Of course, playing behind Jake Fromm, just didn't get the opportunity there. And now he's coming to replace Dwayne Haskins, who, of course, graduated. And this guy's the dual threat quarterback that I think Ohio State can really thrive with the offense they want to run. He's got a tremendous arm. He's got explosiveness in terms of his mobility, the ability to run, the ability to throw. They'll be able to make plays when the pocket collapses. I think there's a lot to like about Justin Fields and his future with this Buckeyes program. You bring back J.K. Dobbins, a tremendous running back, over 1,000 yards rushing last year. That's a big-time weapon in your offense back as well. On the offensive line, that's going to be interesting to see how things go there because there's going to be some challenges with some changes with personnel along that O-line. I think how quickly they come together is going to play a big part in the success offensively. Defense for the Ohio State certainly looks like they're going to be strong, particularly up front with a lot of talent there. They also recruited very well this past year along the D-line. That's going to help them out. I think the linebacking core is a little suspect for them coming into this season. They suffered a big-time injury in spring camp. A senior at the linebacker spot, Justin Hilliard, was ready to really make an impact. But now it looks like he's going to be out for the season, an injury suffered in spring. So there could be some difficulties and some tweaking that they're going to have to do there. Secondary does look solid in terms of the pass defense for Ohio State. So Ryan Day, to me, it's a coach that I think these players really got to like last year, played pretty well for him for the most part. I don't think there's going to be that great, huge adjustment period with Urban Meyer quote unquote retired, although it wouldn't shock me to see him coaching again one day and going to Ryan Day. I like the Ohio State team quite a bit, Drew. I'm bullish on them, and from a win totals perspective, I'm at least interested over the total.
Yeah, I'm interested as well, Ian. And you bring up the quarterback position with Dwayne Haskins leaving for the NFL and Justin Fields coming in. I think it's an interesting case study here in how he plays. He's more of an athlete. He's going to be running around. And from everything you read on him, a highly recruited kid coming from Georgia, like you said, not getting his shot there with Jake Fromm really performing well. But one question with Ohio State is the defensive side of the ball, giving up over 400 yards per game last year. And I know some of that is kind of garbage time, getting leads, but some of it was holes in the defense. Do you think I'm kind of shoring them up? And do you think Ohio State has a real possibility to win the Big Ten this year?
Yeah, definitely the defense. We saw it on full display, of course, in the shocker last year against Purdue, where Ohio State's defense was just shredded in that game. And that's kind of why I think Ohio State has that potential to be maybe a little bit of a point spread team in terms of profitability, ATS. Remember, they were only 7-7 against the spread last year. So I think they have a chance to be better than 500 ATS, be a profitable team, and I think an improved defense will be part of that. That defense really could only go up, whereas the team we talked about previously, Michigan, I think they could regress defensively this year. I think Ohio State will improve, and that'll help their chances.
And when we start talking about their out-of-conference schedule here, especially week 1 and week 2, right out the gate, I think they got some interesting matchups. Right off the bat, FAU laying 27, then they back it up against Cincinnati. That Bearcats team seems to be a very good team in terms of out-of-conference opponent strength here. So especially week 1, minus 27 versus FAU, you have any interest? And if so, which way would you look to bet it?
Well, one thing we know about Lane Kiffin's FAU team, in terms of stepping up in class, it's not been good for them. You look at last year, they got crushed by Oklahoma. They got crushed by Central Florida. They're not a team I trust to step up in class and face a team the caliber of Ohio State. They have not stepped up well. It's shown in their results in the past couple of seasons. So Ohio State might be in a good spot there to absolutely lay waste to FAU. Obviously, we know it's a new quarterback, trying to get some offensive line pieces adjusted because there's still some question marks up front with the O-line, but still, It's not a team that I think is capable of taking advantage with FAU. They just haven't been able to step up in class against better competition.
Great stuff as always from Ian Cameron at Bobano on Twitter. I'm Drew Martin at Drew Martin Bets on Twitter. Guys, make sure to check out SBR Odds for all the live free odds week 1, week 0 in college football season. It's not far away. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with more college football breakdowns.